Howdy. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Cody Van Seelum.
Cody, we are back today. I can't believe it, but we are now at the end of June, and we are nearing and inching closer and closer and closer to our 100th episode. How you feeling today?
That is kind of nuts to really think about. I never really thought about it until like recently. 100, almost 100 episodes, and it's just great. Honestly, the time has flown by. Honestly, felt like it was just yesterday when we started this.
I swear, dude, like we started, it was, I believe, first video we posted was June 15th of last year. And like, man, we have come a long way. So excited to join you in this journey of still doing this podcast. But we do have some news today, though. A few things that I wanted to talk about today. The news basically in the Big 12 right here is Jake Retzloff is transferring. Why is he transferring? It's all because of an alleged sexual assault situation where it seemed like there was more details that came out that it was a consensual. I believe it was consensual sexual relations, and because of the BYU honor code, he will be suspended for 7 games. And with that, it has been reported by multiple news outlets that he will be transferring. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's a wild turn of events. Obviously, this is something really serious, and given the reputation of BYU, I'm not surprised to see them take this action to deal with this like serious situation. And what's crazy about this is about a few minutes after Pete Thamel had Pete Thamel had reported that Jake Retzlaff intended to transfer, and one of the leading targets was Baylor University. So he tweeted that, and then a few hours later, Pete Thamel comes out with another tweet saying that the woman who accused BYU quarterback Jake Retzlaff of sexual assault in a civil suit had withdrawn her civil case. So,
Hmm.
yeah, and the paperwork had been filed to end the case, and basically, yeah, this is a wild turn of events, but it looks like BYU, even with the withdrawal of the case, still going to BYU still going to uphold the honor code. That would make a lot of sense because
Right.
yeah, for a university like BYU, how strict things can be, how BYU operates and whatnot, it makes a lot of sense that even if the case got dropped, you still have like that. It would just be a PR nightmare and a nightmare to the university as a whole, like their reputation. If you were to bring back Jake Retzlaff, so I'm going to assume that Jake Retzlaff will still be looking for a new school, and one of the leading targets to land BYU, former BYU quarterback Jake Retzlaff, is Baylor. Baylor, I believe. I mean, there are rumblings that he could possibly compete against Sawyer Robertson. To
Hmm.
maybe it's like I'm just making sure, but it looks like that is a leading target, but nothing is confirmed yet. So this will have to be something to keep up. But even if somehow, some way, Jake Retzlaff would somehow find a way back to BYU, he'd still have that 7 game suspension. So, and what's crazy is when this first came out, I looked at the BYU schedule, and Tyler, this is a common thing when it comes to Iowa State. So 7 games, right, for Jake Retzlaff. So in the situation,
Mm-hmm.
let's say that somehow, some way, Jake Retzlaff comes back to BYU. He starts that 7 game suspension. Do you want to guess who the first game is after that?
Iowa State.
What is up with Iowa State having to deal with like guys that come off of random things or whatever? I don't even know what other examples there are, but I know it's out there.
I think it's just we've been burned by it so many times, dude. Like we just gotta be ready.
Yeah. Whether it's
Like
that
to
or some guy that does a whole load of nothing in the season randomly goes off against us whenever they play us. So it's like we've seen this story before. So I wasn't even surprised. When I saw the first news that he was suspended, I knew myself and a bunch of Iowa State fans immediately went to the BYU schedule and we found out instantly because we know how the story played out. So just
well, we
no,
better hope that he doesn't come back. But I mean,
I doubt there. I doubt he does. There's no way BYU would bring back a guy who has that over his head.
Well, yeah, I mean, you also got to think about this, but you also got to remember that this is the same Jake Retzloff that we beat the year previous, and or beat in 2023 in Provo, 45-13 in Provo. So I mean, like, yes, he took a little bit of a step, but he still really wasn't that impressive. But you know, with that and getting out of that topic, man, this is something that I have been looking forward to for years because this game is finally getting revived. And of course, this is perfect. This is like literally perfect timing because NCAA football 26 comes out on the 10th. So it comes out in 10 days. And we got we have an announcement of a new NCAA basketball game. Cody, man, dude, I played this. I'll take you back, man, because I'm a little bit older than you are. Eric, and I like in his room. He had the NCAA basketball 10, the one with Blake Griffin on the front. I believe that was the last one ever made. One of the most fun games ever on PS3. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm pumped for this. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, when I saw this, I'm like, dude, you're telling me that I can have a chance to play a a college basketball game where I get to play as Iowa State. I mean, there are so many possibilities now with that. I mean, if we follow the timeline, like how did it revive college football? With them with first dropping like official confirmation that they're bringing it back in 2021. Then the game came out in 2024. If we
Mm-hmm.
follow that same trend, with this being announced in 2025, there could be a possibility that this game comes out in 2028.
So we're gonna have to wait a few years.
I mean, yeah, but it wouldn't make sense though because like the president is there, so I'm not surprised. But I mean, some of Iowa State Twitter and clearly is happy about this, so I need to just first shout out my boy 20 Taman. So this is what he tweeted when he saw the yep, Taman Lipsy,
Oh
bro.
man.
And then I read some of the comments here. How do we tell them? But user created rosters, dude. That would be so odd. Like that'd be one thing that'd be really cool is you get to create your own rosters.
Yeah, user created rosters is something that we always did. That's what people did like before the age of NAL, especially on like NCAA and things like that. People used to literally just spend their time and actually go through the rosters and put like people's names and put all the players' names in there so you could actually play with the names on the rosters if you're that type of sticker that likes to play with knowing who you're playing with.
So I guess in a bit of like we do it in the style of Ultimate Team. If you were to have an Ultimate Team of Iowa State, who would you have like on your roster?
This is a very, very good question. I think this is going to spark some discussion. And we're going to I want to put a poll on this. We're gonna make this a question. Yeah, hold on. So for me, I would say my point guard is definitely going to be Monte Morris because he was Monte Morris was so efficient. I know a lot of people will probably say Tyrese, but I'm definitely going to go with Monte Morris.
Okay. You know, for my point guard, I would probably I'd go Jamal Tinsley.
Ooh, okay, really, really older. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
why
I think the way I mean that's one of the first names I looked up like when it comes to like Iowa State and like when I first got to Iowa State and I learned the lore about men's basketball and Jamal Tinsley was always a name that came up and just the way I mean he had like just the way he played the game I would have to like look like I gotta look it's been a while but I have to look up like his highlight tape but his handling is better than Kyrie Irving's in like I think he was Kyrie Irving before Kyrie Irving when it came to ball handling. So that was always a fun thing to look towards when it came to Jamal Tinsley, just the way he could handle the basketball.
That's very yeah, man. And also a fellow Indiana producer. And the reason why I chose Monte was Monte has like one of the best ratios when it comes to turnovers to assist to turnover ratio.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's like the best in school history. and like he was so efficient with the ball, and every year that he was there, because I Bleav he was a 4 year player, he got better at shooting. And one of the moments that is stuck in my mind in his Iowa State career was that buzzer beater against Texas in the 2015 Big 12 tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I Bleav that was for to the either to the semifinals or that was for the final. I forgot which one. I Bleav it was the semifinals for them to face Kansas. But like, yeah, man, I see that he's my definitely my point guard in that
Mm-hmm.
scenario.
Okay.
Now, as so my two guard in this scenario, it's got to be Curtis Jones for me. All right, no, 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 wait. Actually, hold on. No, no, it's Tyrese McGee.
Ooh,
Or
McGee.
not Tyrese McGee. Tyrese McGee. Man, jeez, Tyrese McGee, man, bro, like was automatic from three, and he wouldn't even have to come off the bench. He'd just be my starter. So you already have a dynamic backcourt with him and Tyrese McGee and Monte Morris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess for I would have at my two guard. I'm gonna go DeAndre Kane.
Ooh, that's a very good pick. I like that.
Mm-hmm. I I just think like just I think DeAndre Kane, like I think out of like that Hoiberg roster, DeAndre was just a staple, and I mean, there's no doubt like I would really like that. He definitely was like one of the players that like got me into Iowa State basketball when I went to like a few like games as a kid.
Yeah, man. That shot against North Carolina in the
Yep.
tournament to get into the Sweet 16,
Mm-hmm.
man, that shot was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they came back, because I remember, because I didn't really get to watch the game because I was at work that day. I was watching on my phone with the March at Madness app, and it was insane because North Carolina was up by double digits with like 4 minutes left, and Iowa State came back. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what? But yeah, so we're gonna go to the three. Man, at my three, I am gonna have Will Clyburn.
Mm.
Will Clyburn because I like I know he was there for 1 year, but man, there were some games where he really really popped off. And I will his unfortunately his iconic moment for me was when he got robbed in that game against Ohio State, where that they called it a charge instead of a blocking foul.
Yep.
Freaking Aaron Craft, I can't stand that dude. So yeah, I think, man, we're gonna have a very very athletic team.
Yeah.
So these are my three guys so far.
Yeah. For me, I think the third guy would go. I'm gonna go Melvin Edgem Jr.
Good pick, very very good pick.
Yeah. I again, I think this a lot of my roster is gonna be mostly like who I grew up watching, but I mean, Melvin Edgem was a staple. I mean, obviously that 48 point burst against TCU, but he also had like he was one of the top like Cyclones with steals and blocks, so you can get some defense out of him as well. So that'll be really nice to have to go along with the ball handling skills of Jamal Tinsley and the explosiveness of who did I have as my? Oh, I completely forgot. I'm blanking on my shooting guard.
You had DeAndre Kane,
Oh yeah, DeAndre.
and it helps because they played together. They'll have that. They'll have that chemistry.
Yeah.
All right, at my four, since he can play multiple positions at the four or the three, my four is going to be Milan Momcilovic at the four.
I was gonna go. I was going to go with him.
Yeah, Milan has the we've been seeing him the last few years. He used to be just a spot up and shoot guy, but I
Mm-hmm.
think like in some games last year, he showed you the entire repertoire of what he can be as a full player. So I excited to see what type of jump he can what jump he can have. But that would be my four.
Okay. So I'm gonna do a little bit of shuffling because I could. Hmm. How do I think about it? I'm having like just a difficult time really thinking about like this roster composition, but for my four, I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna go with Niang. I gotta go with Niang.
Good pick. Very good pick.
Just when the guy he's like a staple of Iowa State. There's no doubt.
Yeah, he is. He is Iowa State, man.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, there are times I've seen he can shoot the ball as well. I mean, we saw what he has done in the NBA when he had that spurt with Atlanta when he could just shoot up from threes about anywhere. That's really going to be a nice compliment to just the explosiveness of I think Deontay. Yeah, of who I got later.
Okay. All right. So my fifth and final pick, and who's going to be my five? I got to go with Marcus Pfizer.
Hmm.
Pfizer being in the middle with him being able to score, and also play defense. Like we're gonna be a tough team to beat. I'll say that. And also, I want to change my three. I know I said who did I say? I said Will Clyburn. So I want to change that to. No, you know what? I'll keep Will Clyburn. No, okay, I'm
Okay.
good. I'm happy. I'm good with my team.
I just gotta go down. I'm going down the rabbit hole. Yeah, I guess I'm playing a little small ball here because I'm gonna have a small ball lineup, but I think my fifth I'm gonna go with Deontay Burton. Yeah, so we're gonna be a real small ball team here.
So
So
you're
I'm
definitely
thinking,
playing Hoy ball.
oh for sure, that's the era I grew up in. I'll admit it'd be really nice to have. Yeah, just I mean, his explosiveness and him crashing the rim is all I need because I can shuffle him around and then either go with Edgem or Niang at the five, which would be odd, but I think I'm gonna go Edgem at the five, put Niang at the four, Burned at the three.
I get that. I get that.
So yeah, I'm gonna have that just as as the guys so that's gonna be my starting five. But real quick, let's see. There's a couple guys I think I would want to bring off the bench. The first guy I would bring off the bench would be Isaiah Brockington.
Okay.
And then I would have Naz, and then Marial Shayok. So those would be the three guys I would have off my bench, that would be in the regular rotation.
Okay. So we're gonna talk about bench guys. You got six bench guys. You said you had six bench guys, right?
Yeah. So that was three. So that was three. Number four would
Three.
have to be Thomas.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Five. I have a lot of guards. I need to find a couple. For fun, I might throw in Lindell Whittington. Could be a fun one.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
that could be. And then if we were to look in who I had currently, and then I would bring Joshua Jefferson from the current team.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So here are my bench players. So coming off the bench, and this was sort of tough for me, but I had to go with probably the better overall player. But I have Royce White's coming off the bench for me,
Okay.
and then I gotta have another guard. So I am gonna have Scott Christopherson,
Hmm.
and then my third is going to be. Let's say we need forward. Dustin Hogue.
Hmm.
He looks in a good meeting defensively. Um, he's a good rebounder. Number four. Ooh wee. Uh man, this is really tough. I'm trying to think about the last. Well, this is the last 15, basically 15 years. Uh, man, and I don't want to use the same people as you, but dang, this is tough, man. Because I really got to think about man, who played during? Golly, we'll have to do this exercise. But those are my three. We'll just do three. But those are my three. But anybody that's watching the live stream, tell me what your guys' college ultimate basketball ultimate team would be. And we'd love to hear you comment it either on my page, Cody's page, or the Bleav in Iowa State page. We'll put up the question, and we'll just we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Obviously, and with that, we're gonna take our first break in the show. So, of course, we're gonna please like and subscribe to the show. Maybe you listen on iHeartRadio, maybe you listen on Spotify. Maybe you listen on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, any of those platforms. Like and subscribe to the podcast, please. If you really, really like us, hit us 5 stars. And send us friendly comments. We'd love to hear your feedback. But man, I really, really like this exercise. One thing I want to look into, and another topic that I do want to talk about, and that has been around in Big 12 news, is that for the first time, there is not a Big 12 preseason bowl.
Yeah. So the Big 12 announced last week that they were going to be going away with doing a Big 12 preseason poll. I think they follow the path of the Big 10 not having a
Mm-hmm.
preseason poll. And quite frankly, this is hilarious because to think like they did this in the aftermath of what happened last year when you had Arizona State at the bottom of the preseason poll, Iowa State sixth, and then your top four had a mix of Utah, Kansas State, Texas Tech, I believe, had a mix of that. I don't
No,
know.
Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma State. Okay, yeah, I forgot. But I'd assume that those five were like somehow mixed some way in the top five. And
Yeah,
then we saw the preseason poll get flipped upside down by the end of the year.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I've heard arguments for and against this. I
Mm-hmm.
guess, like, because some people would say, if you don't have a preseason poll, like, then it's sort of like, doesn't help, like, if you're trying to get hype for some of the teams in
Mm-hmm.
your conference to know who's actually good. But I mean, I guess if you want to go into embracing like what you are, like, I mean, this conference is must watch television every single week. I know, like, especially during football season last year, dude. The reaction shows that we did, we were just in awe. We're like, how in the world? What is happening?
Yeah, the Big 12 last year was essentially the conference chaos, and I expect it to be in that way, some way, shape, or form coming up. Now, as you throw in a wrench for BYU, where does that put BYU? Where's the Retzlaff suspension put BYU?
Exactly. I mean, because I mean, quarterback is probably going to be somebody young, and
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, like, you can't really discount that. So they might take a step back, with Iowa State. Like, how are they going to respond? At least defensively, I think we'd like to say that last year was an outlier. Lord willing that it was, but let's see if the 3-3-5 works, and maybe we can run and see if the run defense can be improved, especially with linebacker play. Also, let's look. We're gonna look at X real quick and look at the football page. But I believe all the four representatives were announced for Big 12 Media Days. I believe that can be found on the Jack Trice Mafia page.
Actually, yeah. So Iowa State football. No, they put it on Twitter. No, there's actually six representatives.
6, okay.
Yeah, so we're sending six to Big 12 Media Days. So this will comprise of defensive back Jeremiah Cooper and John Tess Williams, quarterback Rocco Beck, offensive lineman Tyler Miller, defensive lineman Dominique Orange, and head coach Matt Campbell will be going down to Frisco, Texas for Big 12 Media Days. And this will take place July 8th and 9th. So that weekend, or those 2 days, will be something to look out for coming up here in the next few days.
Man, and we are coming up on a decade for Matt Campbell, and this is an insane stat from our guy Jack Trash Mafia. I wanted to really highlight one of his other tweets that I found very, very interesting. So I'm gonna share my screen, and we'll discuss that, and then there's an article that I want to talk about. But
Yeah, I'm seeing it here. I got it. Oh, you got it. All right. There you
yeah,
go.
okay,
So go back. You just had it.
there it is.
Yep. So for those listening on the podcast, so the tweet reads from Jack Trice Mafia: Matt Campbell heads to his 10th Big 12 Media Day next week. Who were the other Big 12 coaches at the time of Matt Campbell's hiring? You had Art Briles, Cliff Kingsbury, Mike Gundy, Bob Stoops, Charlie Strong, Bill Snyder, David Beatty, Gary Patterson, and Dana Holgerson. If you exclude Matt Campbell, the only one left out of that list, Mike Gundy.
Yeah, and if you look at out of all these schools on this list, all those schools have had multiple, if not one or multiple coaching changes within the last decade, which is absolutely insane. It tells you the longevity of Matt Campbell and Matt Campbell truly being a man of his word when he said that he would stay. I don't know if you were able to see that soundbite that Jack Trash might be put on that podcast. I still want to listen to that podcast on that coaching one about him being able to like adjust and know and really just having the self awareness to know that like 2021 and 2022 like were disappointing and being able to adjust. I think like as a college football coach, like being able to like adjust with the times or know and knowing when something isn't working and not being stubborn, even though you want to be, but change is sometimes good for the best. That's one. That's a good quality to have.
And I mean, we've seen that with some of, obviously, with Matt Campbell's coaching philosophy. I mean, well, he still has like the same like core values of his like coaching philosophy, but he has been like been willing to open up the playbook a little bit because there were times where I was a critic of like the way that Campbell would call games. Sometimes where we would be in these very close games, and you would think you would have a play that would make sense, but the coach chooses not to, and obviously they have the reasoning for it. Whether I like the play call or not, they always have the reasoning, but now we've seen that that has opened up a bit. Matt Campbell has seen that the Big 12 has evolved, and he has evolved as well. And I think that's just something that he's going to continue to do to still be one of the top coaches in the Big 12. And the way he's going, he's going to continue getting those calls from other bigger colleges and maybe some NFL teams.
Right. And guys, just don't freak out. Like it's a good thing when your coach is wanted. Like usually, if nobody calls your coach, that means that he's probably not wanted at all, which is not really a good spot to be in. And I like it's just like when Shieldhouse left, like when like these position coaches, like we've been blessed to have continuity on this coaching staff for the most part, and I knew when like Shieldhouse left, everybody wanted Mauser. Like go back and listen to the Mauser interview I did with him a couple of months ago, and I was talking to him about that, and you know like Campbell was saying like Campbell interviewed him, and he felt that he was the right fit, like. Because usually they don't like to go outside for hires. Matt Campbell is a guy that likes to hire from within. He's really loyal to his guys.
Yeah, and clearly has worked for Iowa State because I mean, with like hiring from within, there is less time for guys to have to adapt and less things to worry about because like you know that these guys are bought into the system. They understand how like the coaching philosophy, like how it works. So there's less training to do, and you have already that established trust from being with the coaching staff for a period of time.
Yeah, I mean, you see Mauser's right. Mauser was a GA, and then he went to tight ends coach, and now he's the offensive coordinator. So, I mean, that shows his hard work, and yeah. But to end the show, as always, we are
Hold
going
on,
to.
before we end it,
Go ahead.
one
Sorry.
thing we forgot to mention: the NBA draft happened over the weekend.
Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah. I am apparently some people that listened and in the Discord that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I'm Ty Stradamus because one of the teams that I said Curtis Jones would go to is the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
I know ball. I am a ball knower. Let's go. Let's go.
We know some people that are like very. We know some people that are very happy with Curtis Jones going to Denver, and I mean Denver is a bit of a familiar place because, if I'm not mistaken, Monte Morris spent some time in Denver during his career in the NBA.
Yes, he did. The Iowa State Denver connection is getting stronger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, with the Curtis Jones, I definitely like you said, definitely like a great comment to have. Like the Curtis Jones Nikola Jokic uh duo is a nice comment to have because you have Jokic who's a mismatch to just about anybody when he shoots. So if Imagine trying to guard Jokic, and then you have Curtis Jones, who is just wide open, and we know what he can do shooting the ball.
Right. So, like, I mean, I think he's going to be a very, very good addition for the squad. And then we have Keyshawn Gilbert getting who's signing with the Washington Wizards. I think that's going to be a
Yeah,
good spot for him.
I think for Keyshawn, I think he may get like with the current state of both the Nuggets and the Wizards, where they're at like franchise wise and competing wise. I think Keyshawn has a better chance of making the roster because the Washington
I
Wizards are
agree.
not exactly in the best of terms right now. Like they aren't in the prime John Wall era. Paul Pierce hitting that shot against Atlanta, they're in that era. So Washington's a long way to rebuild, and hopefully with the Keyshawn Gilbert being a huge piece, it would be really nice to see. And then with the Nuggets, yeah, it's going to be certainly competition with Denver. I think Curtis can really find like a nice spot. If he can get a nice spot off the bench like it was at Iowa State, I think he can thrive. He thrives in that role, being able
Yeah.
to come off the bench and it'd be perfect for Denver, who may need some production off the bench.
Yes, definitely, man. All right. Well, we are going to show love to our sponsor, MyBookie.
Yep. Hey, so we try to say they didn't show on Thursday. UFC 317 just happened, and we saw how that played out. Because if you had first round knockout in the main event,
Yeah,
like
dude.
that was crazy. That was just crazy. So okay, yeah, we do have UFC 318, Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. And given what I understand, like what I remember about 318, I would guess that Holloway would be underdog to. No, wow, they're even.
They're even, yeah.
Okay, so we may have to look out for a way for how that fight can end. So that's just one of the things that's great about my bookie, and obviously, major sports wise, we're mainly looking at MLB right now because
Yep, we're gonna look
we're
at
pretty
that real
much
quick.
just yeah, we're in the prime of summer, so a lot of baseball. So I know a lot of people are making baseball parlays, so that could be something that you could really explore here in my bookie. And then sooner or later, college football is going to creep up on you, so that would be something to look out for.
Yes, and obviously here is the promo code to sign up. We have it's MM50. Make sure you type in the Bleav in Iowa State podcast when you sign up. Click the join now button right here. Boom. And then you type in the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. But here are some of the promos that they have right now. Like Cody said, it is the dead of summer right now. MLB season is in full effect. Um, you get a 50% match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. You need a minimum of a $50 deposit with 10 times rollover. I talked about in the last show, boosted parlays, more picks, you more profits. 6% boost for 5 legs, 2% for 3 legs, and 12% for 8 legs. So there's a lot of the promos, and hey, look, I mean, you may not be the tennis person, but it's 4th of July weekend, and we got Wimbledon.
Yeah, speaking of 4th of July, is there something for the a hot dog eating contest? Please tell me there's something for it.
Shoot, what?
Nathan's. Oh, dude. I think if I remember that Joey Chestnut is coming back for that, so that's gonna be really, really. That's one of the things that's crazy about like the U.S. Here in the U.S., yes, you can have a contest for literally eating hot dogs.
Yeah, dude. I want to see if they have that because I don't know. I'm gonna look on here. Money bet
Yeah, but that's something I just thought of, given it's 4th of July.
betting lines, not betting. I am entertainment. I
Yeah,
guess.
check entertainment. Yes,
They
there it
have
is.
it.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, it doesn't look like it's popped up
All
right now,
right.
but I mean, hey,
Okay.
we'll see
Hold
if
on.
it
Hold
comes
on.
out. But the fact that a tab is there for it, I hope it comes out here within the next week. I hope it comes out this week. Because boy, oh
Yeah, they're
boy,
not out yet, but we're gonna preview this on the Thursday show. Like
Yeah,
we gotta talk about the Nathan's hot dog eating contest because that is a Fourth
an
of
American
July
staple.
staple.
All right, so that was a fun way to end off our shout out to our sponsor, MyBookie.
Yeah, thank you, MyBookie. Also, like with MyBookie, if you know ball, go and make money. I haven't said that in a while, or the promo code, so I've been messing up. So sorry, guys. But with that, we thank you guys for tuning in to the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. A few shameless plugs before we go. Like we said before earlier in the show, please like and subscribe. Share with everybody that you know that is a big Iowa State fan. We're up and coming Iowa State podcast, so we would appreciate the word of mouth by people. And also, I wanted to announce this on the show live. I Bleav last week I teased about us having a special guest on the show. So 2 weeks from now, or no, 2 weeks from Thursday, not this upcoming Thursday, but the next Thursday on the 10th, we will be having Jake Brendon from Cyclone Fanatic, as he is going to come on with us and talk Big 12 Media Days, any interesting sound bites that he found, and any interesting news that he has from Iowa State. So Jake Brendon will be on. So I'll be promoting that on the page, and look out for promo videos to follow. So that's one thing I want to do, and obviously our usual shameless plugs. We are a top 15 sports podcast in the state of Iowa, nominated by FeedSpot. So thank you, FeedSpot, for that. You can find Cody on Twitter at Matt Campbell Impersonator. I know you're going to be watching Raw tonight. Night of Champions was interesting. The build up to that was interesting. We got to talk about that real quick, man. That freaking when CM Punk came up with the George song and the tactical economics, I was like, what?
That was, dude. That was punkonomics right there. Dude dropped a couple of bars that was crazy. I mean, the big one I'm thinking of right now is when he dropped that Kendrick Lamar Drake bar. He also dropped one referencing the Undertaker. There's a few more in there, but that whole promo segment was great, and that was such a fun thing to watch.
Yeah, man, I'm interested, but man, I will say John Cena's heel run has been amazing. I will say that.
You know what's crazy? There are people that are saying that John Cena could turn back face as soon as SummerSlam.
I can see it. I
If
can see it.
if you watched Cody Rhodes and John Cena on Night of Champions, their mannerisms, you're starting to see the wheels turn. That they could possibly pull a double turn like they did with Bret Hart Stone Cold in '97.
I can see that because I think Cody has been showing some heel tendencies.
Yeah, and he would be justified in that case because, I mean, he isn't wrong. He did get screwed out of the WWE Championship. He did.
So yeah, I think or we're gonna see a heel turn at SummerSlam.
Oh, dude, I'm so ready for SummerSlam.
Dude, me too. It'll be right before I leave for Ireland too, so that'll be nice.
That'd be great.
Yep. All right, and then follow me at Side Tie Guy. Yeah, dude. For me, I don't know. I really just been keeping up with Iowa State news. I'm really trying to keep up with what the Cowboys are doing and the free agency.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens if they do anything, or if they sign Micah. They probably won't until training camp. That's a classic Jones's move. But I don't have any hope for that, so we'll see. And also, lastly, follow us on social media. We love for the Bleav in Iowa State podcast, Sickle Nation, to grow. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. So with that, for Tyler Carter,
And for Cody Van Cielum,
this is the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.
go Cyclones.